Alright, so here we go. I've got a random assortment of shells and glass that I've slowly collected over the years from the coast, and they've been sitting really long, so they have a large amount of dirt caked in them. So I'm going to clean the loose dirt off with just water and a quick scrub. After cleaning with water, I pick up the shells that are still pretty caked in dirt for special attention, and I'll soak these in white vinegar for 10 to 15 minutes. White vinegar is an acid that eats away at calcium carbonate, which is what shells are made of. So the bubbles you see are the acid eating away at the outer layer of the shell, which hopefully will take the dirt with it. Scrubbing will speed up the process, but it's unnecessary. You just want to make sure that they don't sit for too long, otherwise the shells become very fragile. Once you're satisfied or you've reached 15 to 20 minutes, neutralize the acid with water just to stop the shell from becoming too brittle. If you're still not satisfied with how white they are, you can dump concentrated bleach on the shells and just let them sit for a couple hours, scrubbing and rinsing them with water every now and then. You can rinse and repeat this process as many times as you like, and it should yield some pretty white shells. If you can't get the shells as white as you want, or you just want some variety, you can spray paint the ugly shells whatever color you want. I have a tiny amount of gold, silver, and a little bit of bronze that I'm using here. As an aside, it's super easy to make Christmas decorations with these shells. Just carefully pop a hole in them and run some wire through. But in this case, this sea dollar already had an extra hole in it, so I just ran some wire through it. Now, to add support to your wreath, you need a backing. I use cardboard, but anything rigid will work. And there are about a million better ways to mark a circle, but I just need a really rough outline, so I use a string, a thumbtack, and a pen, and it worked just fine. I spray painted the outside of the backing only, as I intend to cut out the inside later, and the paint is just to be more aesthetically pleasing if any of the backing shows through. I first roughly assemble the shells and glass how I want them, then I lightly hot glue everything together, making sure there's good contact between all the pieces. When you have a bunch of small pieces like this, you can take them off the board, flip them upside down, clump on the glue, and then when you're ready to glue it back on the board, just flip it over and put it back on. After the light gluing, I flip the piece over and obliterate the back with glue. This side won't be seen, so glob on as much glue as possible to make sure all those contact points are really nice and strong. I then wrap the back several times with string and hot glue that on, making sure the string touches every piece for added structural integrity. I wanted to have this wreath be self-supporting with no backing, but without the extra rigidity of the backing, it just does not hold its shape when hung. So I stuck it back on the backing, cut out the excess so that nothing showed, then secured the piece to the backing by running string through the string that I had put on the wreath, tying it around the backing, and then off camera I globbed a bunch more glue on all the contact points. And this worked really well, and now the wreath holds its form when lifted. For all the excess string showing, or for any large glue marks that are showing, an additional shell or glass can be strategically placed to conceal it, but I was on a deadline, so I just call it a day. And that's it. Super simple, relatively quick, and kind of nice results.